Good morning. This is Bo Dean from Wilmington, North Carolina, and I have a great message. It gets better. And actually, let me rephrase that. It doesn't get better. I got better. And I'll tell you why. The world is the world, and there's always going to be issues in the world. We just have to deal with the fact that when there are differences between peoples, some people react to that in negative ways. And that's unfortunate, but how we respond to that and how we react to that, well, that's us. And I've learned over the years that by really focusing on what I can bring to the table and really accepting who I am, I can bring a much better bow to the table. And so sometimes, even though situations have gotten better and the culture has changed a little bit, the more I've accepted me and the more I've realized that I'm really a loved and a good person, the more I've realized that it doesn't matter what other people think, and it doesn't matter what the culture says. What matters is this relationship I have with myself and, well, for me, how I feel spiritually. And that's just such a great thing to share, because that's really, I hope, what you're going to find for yourself. Because I've connected with people over the years from a time when I felt like I was the only one, where I felt alone and adrift, where I felt like there were no other couples, there was no hope for me to have a long-term relationship, where I felt like I was not a loved person, to a place where I now know that there are millions of people just like me who are in long-term relationships, who are very much loved by a higher power, who I choose to call God, who are just perfect exactly the way they are, and imperfect exactly the way they are, and who live abundant, wonderful lives. And they focus on each day their own working problems, their own issues, their own solutions, their own joys, just as they are. And it gets to cliche, the whole, I got my gay card because I know all the show tunes, but there was this wonderful song, and I never forget it, when I was in my teens, from a Broadway show called I Am What I Am. I am what I am, and what I am. And, it's silly, but it really is a powerful song. La Cage aux Folles was the show, and it's such a resounding message. It's a powerful message. It's a message that you need to take to heart. Well, I can't say what you need, but for me, I took to heart, because it doesn't matter what other people think. I can do and be anything. And that is a joy. I never imagined that I would be 14 years married to the most wonderful man in the world. And I am today. 14 years. Unbelievable. Hell, a year. But 14. And that I would have a home. And that I would have the relationships that I have in my community. And that I would be able to do the things that I'm doing today. And it didn't come because I'm special or because I'm privileged in some way. It came because I just exist the way I exist. And I'll tell you, my experiences being bullied, my experiences being assaulted, those were pretty horrible. And I'll never forget them as long as I live. And I also live knowing that for whoever's listening to this, if you are in that situation right now and you need something, all you got to do is ask. There are lots of resources now that didn't exist back in those days. And I commit my life to making sure that you don't have to go through unless you turn away from these things like I did. You can be anything that you want to be. You don't have to be less than. You are absolutely equal to everyone around you. You can have the same loving relationships. You can have absolutely everything you want. And that is such joy. Such an amazing life is ahead of you. In this moment, in this day, you are absolutely a loved, perfect creation of a higher power. And you're not just gay or lesbian or bisexual or transgender. You're a whole being, mental, physical, and spiritual. Threefold. I am. I know you are. And I tell you, it gets better. And that is a real joy. But if you need something, please gotta reach out. I'm a member of several boards in Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm several organizations. There are places that you can go. There are hotlines that you can call. If you need something, reach out. And if you're in an area where you don't know where resources are, there are national hotlines. And daggone it, you can get on the internet. Find us. I'm on Facebook. Reach out to people. It's a great life. And it gets better. I promise you. God bless. And God bless. Thanks be.